guys. Good morning, guys. Today we are going to read Bicycle and the Sweet Shop. Roald Dahl Boy. When I was 7, my mother decided I should leave kindergarten and go to proper boys' school. My good fortune to cathedral school. Like the cathedral, the school is still there and still flourishing. But there again, I can remember very little. About 2 years ago, I attended Landgraf Cathedral School between the age of 7 and 9. Only the two moments remain clearly in my mind. The first, village green after school, when suddenly one of the senior 12-year-old boys came riding full speed down the road on his bicycle 20 yards away from me. The road was on a hill that the boy was going down slope, and as he flashed by, started backpedaling very quickly so that the freewheeling mechanism of his bike made a loud whirring sound. At the same time, he took his hands and handlebars and folded them across his chest. I stopped dead and stared after him. How wonderful he was! How swift and brave! Graceful long trousers with bicycle clips around them and scarlet school cap and jaunty angle on his head. One day I told myself, one glorious day I will have bike like that. I wear trousers with clips and my school cap jaunty on my head, and I was whizzing down the hill pedaling backwards with no hands on the handlebars. I promised that if somebody had caught my shoulder movement and said to me, "What's your greatest wish in little boy?" "What is absolute ambition to be a doctor, a fine musician, a painter, a writer, or Lord Canchester?" I would have answered without hesitation that my only ambition, my hope, longing was to have a bike. But the whizzing down the hill with no hands on the handlebars, it would be fabulous. It made tremble just to think about it. My second and only other memory of Lander's Cathedral is extremely bizarre. It happened a little over a year later when I was just 9. By then I had made some friends, and when I walked to school in mornings I would start out alone, but would pick up more boys along the way. After school was over, the same 4 boys and I would get together across the village of Green through the village itself, heading for home. One way to school, and the way back we always passed the sweet shop. Though we never passed it. We always stopped. It lingered outside. Its rather small window gazing in the big glass jars, full of bull's eye and old-fashioned humbugs and bonbons and glacier mints and acid drops and pear drops and lemon, right? Wait, I'll call you after. And drops and lemon drops and the rest of the each and received the 6 pence a week for pocket money. And whenever there was any money in our pockets, we would all drop in together to buy a penny worth of this that. My own favorite sharbat, sukkars and liquorized bootlaces. One of the other boys whose name was Thwaites told me I should never eat liquorized bootlaces. Thwaites' father, who was a doctor, had said that they were made from rat's blood. The father had given his young son a lecture about liquorized bootlaces when he had caught him eating one in bed. Every rat catcher in the country, the father had said, takes his rats to the liquorized bootlace factory and the manager pays twopence off for rat. Many a rat catcher has become a millionaire by selling his dead rats to. But how the rats can liquorize? Asked the Dwight. Answer. Then none. The Calvin long poles and in the concern hold on. And rat mash. Yes, but how do they turn that into liquorized bootlaces, Daddy? The young Dwights had asked this question. According to Dwight had caused his father to pause and think for few moments before he answered it. And last he had said the two men who were doing the steady holes, the Wellington and climb into the cauldron and shovel the hot rat mash on the concrete floor. Then they run a steam roller over the several times to flatten it. What is left looks rather like a gigantic pancake, and all they have to do after that is to wait for cool and harden so they can cut it into strips to make bootlaces. Don't ever eat them, the father had said. If you do, you will get ratty. What is ratty, Daddy? Young Dwight had asked. All rats that thought the rat catchers cats are poisoned with rat poison. The father had said, it's the poison that gives you ratties. Yes, but what happens to you when you catch it? Young Dwight had asked. The father had answered, and the short stump grows out of your back just above your bottom. There is no cure for ratting. I thought to know. I am a doctor. We all enjoyed White's story and we made him tell it to us many times and walks to hands from school. Didn't so many of us expect twice from buying licorice bootlaces at 2 for a penny. They were best value in the shop. A bootlaces, in case you haven't had the pleasure of handling one of, is not round. It's like a flat black tape about half an inch wide. You buy it rolled tape about half an inch wide. You buy rolled up in a coil. And then those it used to be long when you unrolled it and held another touched ground. Sharbat suckers were also a penny each. Sucker consisted for a yellow cardboard tube, hollow straw, sticking out of rat's blood again. Twice would warn us, pointing at licorice straw. When it was finished, you ate the licorice. There were delicious those sharbat suckers. The sharbat is in your mouth, and if you knew how to do it, you could make white froth come out of your nostrils and throwing a fit like this. Like this from your nose you will get. It's spread that head young, twice proclaimed as the son of doctor. He considered him to be an authority of things that had to be within the body. He could tell us about the stupid red, the mason color. Instead, the history of answered you wouldn't tell him if you. Pear drops were exciting because they had a dangerous taste. They smelled of nail varnish and froze the black of throat. All of us were warned against eating them, and the result was that they ate them more than ever. Then there was a hard brown lozenge called the tonsil tickler. The tonsil tickler smelled very strongly of chloroform. We had not slightest doubt about these things were sort of in red anesthetic, which was twice had many times pointed out of the you could put the 3-4 hours the stretch said. If he pours chloroform on to a pad and saws his leg without him even feeling it. But why do they put in sweets and them to us? We asked him. We might think a question like this would baffle Thwaites, but Thwaites was never baffled. My father says tonsil ticklers were invited for dangerous prisoners in jail. He said they give one of the each meal and chloroform makes them well stop rioting. The sweet shop in Landlev in the year of 1923 was very center of life. So it was what a bar to drunk or a church is to a bishop. Without it would have been a little to live, but it had one terrible drawback. This sweet shop, the woman who owned it was horror. We hated her and we had good reason for doing so. Her name was Mrs. Pratchett. She was a very small, skinny old hag with a mustache. She never smiled. She never welcomed us when we went, and its only time she spoke were when she said things like, "I'm watching you so kept the thriving fingers of chocolates, or I don't want you will just look around. Either forks or you get out." But my far just most of loathsome came about the Mrs. Pratchett was the filth that clung around her. The apron was grey and greasy. Her blouse had bits of breakfast all over it, toast crumbs and tea stains, and lots of dry egg yolk. Maybe it seems funny, but maybe she have dropped tea on her blouse. And do not forget, please, they were black with dirt cream. The sweet jars, when she asked for a penny worth of treacle, toffee or wine, gums or nuts, cluster, whatever they were precious. Few health laws in those days, and nobody least of all Mrs. Pratchett ever outgrew her fingernails running after chocolate fudge out of a jar, caused starving tramp to running from shop. But not a sweets were lifeblood. We would have put far worse than to get them. So we simply stood and watched in sullen silence while this disgusting old woman stared around inside the jars with her forefingers. The other thing we hated Mrs. Pratchett for menace. Unless you spent a whole sixpence in one go, she wouldn't give you a bag. Instead, you would get sweets twist in a small piece of newspaper, store of old dilly mirrors lying on the counter. So you would understand we had Mrs. Pratchett in a big way. We seemed the flower, but one of them was good. None of them, that is, until suddenly memorable afternoon, we found the dead mouse. These are done with good stories.